Hello everybody, welcome to Yoga for Self-Love with Kim. I am Kim. This will be a short, gentle practice today. We'll bring in some cooling, calming breath, Chandra Bhedana, where we will breathe through the left nostril, into the left nostril, out through the right, into the left, out to the right, and we'll go over that momentarily. But this is said to calm down the nervous system, to turn on the Ida Nadi. It's connected to the Ida Nadi, or the lunar channel of the body. Can bring in some cooling, some calming energy, calm down the nervous system. And it can also cool you down. So where I am in New England, it is wicked hot right now. So I'm feeling hot, feeling like I need a little slow moving, slow down, calm energy. So bring yourself to your mat, find a comfortable space, comfortable seated space. You can have the shins crossed or the legs wide, or you can sit up on the heels with the knees bent, or whatever feels right for you. Feel free to sit up on a block or blanket or bolster. And root down through your sitting bones. Root down through your pubic bone. Wiggle the sides of the body long. Find some space through the rib cage. Reach the crown of the head all the way up. And before we move into our Chandra Bhedana breath, you can take a moment to close your eyes if that feels okay for you, and just bring one hand to rest on your heart, one hand to rest on your belly. And giving yourself a little gentle touch, sending yourself some loving, healing energy. And if you feel it, you can turn up the corners of your lips into a smile. Smiling makes everything better. You can begin to change the chemical cocktail in your body. Bring in some of those good vibes, dopamine, serotonin, those good hormones, neurotransmitters. And just take a moment to check in. How are you feeling today? Give yourself a little time, a little attention, a little tender, loving care. Draw your energy back in towards your center. As always, I invite you to bring in the intention to be gentle, kind, patient, loving, compassionate with yourselves. And you can release your hands, flutter the eyes open for a moment. We'll take our right hand and use the thumb to block off the right nostril. And take a deep breath in through your left nostril. Pause and hold the breath when you get to the top, and then take your ring finger, pinky finger to close off your left nostril. Release the exhale out through the right nostril. Close off the right nostril again. Nice deep inhalation in through the left nostril. Close off the left nostril. Exhale out through the right. Close off the right nostril. Inhale in through the left nostril. Close it off. Release the breath out through the right. You can move through this a few more rounds, following your breath. You can have the eyes open or closed. Release the right hand down. And take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale it out through the nose, both nostrils. Take another deep breath in through the nose. And let it out through the nose or sigh it out through your mouth. Blink your eyes open if they're closed. And then we'll begin to start moving. We'll bring some forward folds into our practice today, which are said to be calming as well for the nervous system. So we'll fold ourselves in. So let's come over onto the hands and knees. You could have something underneath the knees if you like here. For the moment, take the knees wide. Bring it into a wide knee child's pose. Big toes coming towards each other behind you. Settle your bum back towards your heels. Release your forehead down to the mat or to a block, or make a little pillow with the hands. Rest your forehead or that third eye space right in between the eyebrows. Rest that down to the mat. And take a few nice, deep, smooth, steady breaths here, filling up the whole torso with your breath, the front of the body and the back of the body. And then let's bring ourselves up into a table, coming onto the hands and knees. So you can take the knees back in so they are about hip width. Spread the fingers wide, wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. You can give yourself a little rock, a little shake, a little shimmy. Find some movement here, anything that calls to you. And bring yourself to center. We'll roll through a couple rounds of our cat-cow. Inhale as you soften the belly down, lift the tail, draw the heart forward and lift your gaze. And as you exhale, press into your fingers, round your spine up towards the ceiling, look towards the navel. Inhale again as you soften the belly, lift the tail, draw the heart forward. Exhale as you press down into the hands, into the fingers, around the back up towards the ceiling. A few more. Bring yourself back into a table, and we'll make our cat-cow a little bit more dynamic here. So again, we'll move into our cow. We'll inhale, lift the tail, lift the heart. This time as you exhale, press into the hands, round your back up towards the ceiling, then pull your bum back towards your heels, coming through child's pose. And then we'll soften the elbows with the inhalation. Pull yourself forward, coming back through table and back into our cow. With the exhalation, round the back up towards the ceiling, and again you pull your bum back to your heels, and then again soften the elbows, pull yourself forward, rolling through this dynamic cat-cow a few more times. And then bring yourself back up into your table. Now let's tuck toes under, press into the hands, hug the arms in towards each other, lift the hips up and back, find your way into your downward dog. Start with a generous bend in the knees here. Begin to walk out the legs, pedal it out, or just bend and straighten the knees.
And then roll up onto the balls of your feet and then press the heels towards the mat. Again, roll it up onto balls of feet and then press the heels towards the mat. And now slowly walk your hands back towards your feet. We'll come into a ragdoll forward fold at the back of your mat. You can have a big or little bend in the knees here for a moment. Lift your belly up off of your thighs. Let's hinge from the hips. Fold yourself back in. Bring the belly back to the thighs and let your head go. So we're hinging from the hips, not rounding through the low back to make the fold happen. You can take hands down to the mat, or you can grab opposite elbows. Give your head a little rock, shake, nod. Maybe the hips a little sway from side to side. Maybe the arms a little swing. And then bring yourself to center. And then bend the knees a lot. Get your hands back down on the mat. Walk yourself back out into your downward dog. Bend the knees, both knees, crouch yourself down, and then send the hips up, downward dog again. Bend the knees again, crouching it down into tiger dog, and then send the hips back up. And now walk yourself slowly up towards the top of your mat. So now walking the feet up towards the hands. And then again, when you come up to the top of the mat for a moment, lift belly up off of the thighs, folding from the hips, bring the belly back to the thighs, and let the head go. And then take hands to your hips, press into your feet, lift yourself all the way up to stand, bringing it into Tadasana. Let's take the hands together at the heart. Feeling really strong and grounded down through the legs, hugging in through the inner legs, feeling that pelvic floor begin to turn on, that little belly draw in and up, sides of the body wiggle nice and long, nice and tall, crown of the head reaching up. And then release your hands down. We'll step the right foot back. We'll bend the front knee, coming into a warrior one. Left knee tracking over the ankle, pressing down through that back heel. Adjust as necessary. Make sure that back knee feels great. You could take a shorter stance if you need to, or even allow the right hip to open up a little bit if that helps that back knee. Reach arms up along the ears, pressing down and out through the feet, reaching up and out through the fingers. Again, if you feel it, find that smile. And then we'll interlace our fingers at the low back. You can have a big or little bend in the elbows here. If it's available, you can bring the arms a little bit straighter. Maybe pull the hands off the back, but still keeping that softness through the elbows so we're not locking out through the elbows. Take a deep breath in, lift the heart, lift the gaze. And as you exhale, begin to slowly fold yourself in, bringing the torso towards that front leg, maybe even inside the front leg. Hands can stay at low back, or you peel the hands up off of the back. Keep that left sitting bone rolling underneath you. Press into the feet, lift yourself all the way back up. Hands come back to the low back. You sink into that front knee. Heart lifts, gaze lifts. And then again, we'll begin to fold it forward, bringing the torso towards that front thigh, maybe reaching the arms up and overhead. Press into the feet, lift yourself all the way back up. Hands come back to the low back. Bend that left knee, maybe a little deeper. And then one more time, waterfall warrior. Let's fold it forward. Peel the arms up off the back if that works for you. And then slowly lift yourself back up. Bend that front knee, release the hands and reach the arms back up. And then hands come down. Let's step it forward. Right foot steps back up, top of the mat. We'll do the same thing on the other side. Step that left foot back. Bend that right knee. Knee tracks over the ankle, pressing out through that back heel. Hips facing up towards top of the mat, but adjusting as necessary for that back knee. Rib cage facing up towards top of the mat. Reach the arms up. Find that smile. Have some fun with your practice. Interlace fingers at the low back. Big or little bend in the elbows. Maybe arms a little bit straighter. Lift the heart up. And then let's fold it in. Torso comes down towards that right thigh. Now maybe the hands reach up overhead. Press into the feet. Hug in through the legs. Lift up. Bring it back up into your warrior one. Sink that front knee. Fold it back in. Peel the arms up and over. Roll that right sitting bone under. Press into the feet, lift yourself back up. Sink into that front knee. And then last time, let's fold it in. Press into your feet, lift yourself all the way back up. Sink into that front knee a little deeper. Release the clasp of the hands, reach the arms up. And then hands come down, step yourself up, top of the mat. We'll take it into a pyramid pose now. So step the right foot back, shorter stance this time. So maybe just a couple of feet. Hips squaring off towards top of your mat. Let's keep the hands on the hips. Press down into the feet, hug in through the legs. Reach the crown of the head up. You're gonna slowly hinge from the hips. You may need to put a big or little bend in the front knee. Press down into the feet, hug in through the legs, lift yourself back up. We'll step the right foot up. And then same thing, other side, step that left foot back, couple of feet. Hips squaring off towards top of your mat, hands on hips, press into the feet. Lengthen up through the spine. Let's hinge from the hips, fold it forward. And again, if you need it, put a big or little bend in that front knee. And you just fold forward as much as it feels okay for you. No need to force anything. Press into your feet, lift up. Step it up, left foot comes forward, right foot steps back again. Interlace your fingers at your low back. If you like, you could grab a hold of opposite elbows back here. And then again, let's hinge it forward. Torso comes forward. And you come to your edge. No need to make anything happen. Maybe you can fold in a little deeper, maybe not. Press into your feet, lift up. And then stay on this side. Again, we'll hinge it forward. Torso folds forward. You fold into your degree over that left leg. Press down into the feet, lift it up. And then last time, let's fold it forward. And you fold into your degree. Could reach hands towards the mat if you like, hands framing that front leg, or you keep the hands on the elbows behind you or the clasp of the hands behind you. And then press into your feet, lift it back up. We'll switch it to the other side. Right foot steps up, left foot will step back. Again, a couple of feet, so short stance here. Hips facing up towards top of the mat, rib cage up towards top of the mat. Clasp the hands, grab the elbows. You could keep the hands on the hips if you prefer that. And we'll slowly begin to hinge from the hips, coming forward towards that right leg. Press into the feet, hug in through the legs, lift yourself back up. And let's do it again. Fold it forward. Maybe you can fold in a little deeper over the right leg this time. Maybe not. You do you. Press into your feet. Lift it all the way up. And then let's fold it in one more time. Keeping hands where they are, or maybe you slowly release your fingertips down to the mat as you fold in over that right leg. And then press into your feet, lift yourself back up. Step yourself up to the top of the mat. Let's take the arms out to the sides and up. Palms come together overhead. Fold yourself forward. Big or little bend in the knees. Let's lift halfway up. Find a flat back, press your fingers into shins or thighs, reach out through the tail and out through the crown of the head. Soften the knees and fold yourself back in. Get your hands down onto the mat, bend your knees a lot if you need to make that happen. Step yourself back into downward dog and then walk it out here again, or find any movement that you need, that you like here. And then drop your knees down to the mat. Come back to sit on your heels. Let's drop over to one hip, swing your legs around. Coming into Dandasana, staff pose. And again here, you can have a big or little bend in the knees. If you have tight hamstrings, feel free to bend the knees. Let's take the fingers underneath the shoulders, press down into the fingers, sit up nice and tall. And then either stay here or begin to fold yourself forward. Bring your belly to your thighs. And you can keep the hands where they are, or maybe walk the hands forward towards the shins or the feet. Belly to the thighs, heart reaching for the toes. And then bring yourself back up. Hands come back underneath the shoulders. Press down through the heels. Flex the ankles. Sit up nice and tall. Let's take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, slowly begin to fold yourself forward. Bring the belly back to the thighs. Hands stay where they are. You walk the hands down the mat. Heart reaching for the toes. Maybe you can work the backs of the legs down towards the mat a little bit more, but if not, totally fine. And then let's bring it back up into our Dandasana. Hands come back. Sit up tall. And then last time, let's take it forward. Paschimottanasana, fold it in. Few deep breaths here. Bring yourself all the way back up. Cross your legs, bring your hands forward and find your way down onto your belly. Then make a little pillow with your forearms. Stack one hand on top of the other, one forearm on top of the other, and rest your forehead on the backs of the arms. Feeling the comfort and the grounding of our belly on the earth. Take a few deep breaths here. And I invite you to come back to our intention to be gentle, kind, patient, loving, and compassionate with ourselves. We are all doing the best we can, and you're doing awesome. Take your hands underneath your shoulders, press yourself up, find a comfortable seated position. Take your hands to opposite shoulders, and then bring your hands down, the arms toward the elbows, and then back up again. So give yourself a few little gentle rubs, massages, your hands massaging, rubbing the opposite arm. Send yourself some loving, healing energy. Give yourself a smile. Thank yourself for showing up for you for this yoga practice today and carving out that time just for you. Cross arms over the chest. Give yourself a squeeze. Open the arms wide. Cross the arms over the chest. Other arm on top. Drop chin down towards chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. And then bring palms together at your heart. Thank you so very much for sharing this practice with me, this gentle, cooling, calming practice. Hopefully it helped. It was just what I needed for today. Hopefully you felt the same. With love and gratitude, namaste.